Hey, it's time for another installment of Let's Shit on These album covers. Now, if you haven't seen any of the previous episodes, and even if you have, just a little bit of a disclaimer here. Now, there's plenty of low-hanging fruit when it comes to terrible album covers, but I'm not going for the more obvious ones. I am going for albums when I do this series that you might actually have as part of your record collection or that you've seen out in the wild. I don't know too many people that have seen some of kind of the classically terrible album covers that you see on the internet. These are more albums that probably you've seen, or if you haven't seen, you are more likely to come across out in the wild than some of the other ridiculous stuff out there. So anyway, without further ado, let's get right into it. First album I want to shit on is Captain and Tennille and their album Keeping Our Love Warm. This is going to be a theme, actually. This episode is going to all be about heat because these album covers are so hot. So anyway, back to this album cover. Captain and Tennille, Keeping Our Love Warm. So where do I even start with this album cover? You've got Toni Tennille, who's looking pretty hot, and I don't just mean in the sense that she's sweating in a sauna. I mean, she actually looks pretty good. Now, if that were just the album cover, her in the sauna, I don't think we'd be having this conversation right now, or I wouldn't be featuring this album cover on the video. However, it's always Daryl Dragon that's bringing down their album covers. If you take a look at any of Captain and Tennille's albums, it's always him. He just looks so out of place, looks so goofy, looks like, what the hell are you doing here? No exception for this album cover. I mean, he's in there in the sauna, sort of like out of the picture, like, well, I know we got to put him on the album cover because he is one half of this duo, but let's try to shove him off to the side. I can imagine the photographer in this album cover session like, nope, a little farther, nope, a little more back, nope, you're still too close, move a little bit back, a little farther back, still wearing the captain's hat. You're in a sauna, it's probably over 100 degrees. You might want to get rid of the captain's hat, which, by the way, is such a tired gimmick by this point. He basically has all the sex appeal of this guy in a captain's hat, okay? And he's just looking very creepy, got his hands on her shoulders. She's looking very uncomfortable. I just feel so sorry for Toni Tennille. Not only the fact that she had to be married to this clown, but the fact that he is totally bringing down the integrity of the duo and the album cover. So sorry. Now, I know I'm going to take some heat for this next one because there are a ton of Neil Diamond fans in the vinyl community. So I mean no disrespect to the actual content of this particular album. I do, however, have a real big problem with the album cover, Hot August Night. And don't tell me you don't either. And don't tell me you've never thought about what the hell is Neil Diamond doing. So you tell me, what is Neil Diamond doing here exactly? And I want to use the word fellatio, perhaps. Not sure exactly what else he would be doing. And don't try to tell me he's playing air guitar. He is clearly not playing air guitar. That's not how you play a guitar. Show me one guitar player who looks like that. I mean, you tell me my mind's in the gutter, and you have an alternate explanation for exactly what the hell Neil Diamond is doing on this album cover. And why was this an album cover? I'm sure they took plenty of photographs during whatever concert this was. You mean to tell me this was the best photograph they could come up with? I have no idea. Look where his hands are. Why is his mouth open like that? I feel dirty just even looking and talking about this album cover. So if you know, if you'll please, I mean, if you seriously know what the hell he's doing, I would love to know, and please put it in the comments section. Now, the next album cover that I'm going to shit on is by an artist, and I feel a little guilty about doing this one because he is no longer with us. He died of leukemia, I think in the late 80s, so rest in peace. Sorry, my man. However, I can't let this album cover just go by without making a comment and defecating on it. So I'm talking about Randy Van Warmer. Yes, there was an artist back in the early 80s named Randy Van Warmer. Now, when I think of Van Warmer or Randy Van Warmer, I think it must be a guy named Randy who, in the middle of winter, likes to go out and start his car 15 minutes before he's ready to drive off in his van. But that is not the case. That's actually his name. Looked a little bit up on Wikipedia. He apparently wrote some songs for the Oak Ridge Boys. Is it Oak Ridge Boys or Oak Ridge Brothers? I think Oak Ridge Boys. Not that it matters. Fuck the Oak Ridge Boys. So Randy Van Warmer had an album. His debut album was called Warmer. Now, let's just state the obvious. He's the classic nerd, okay? You look at this picture. This guy looks like he should be a computer programmer for IBM or whatever back in the day, not putting out album covers. And so that's, I think, one of the most interesting things about this album cover. You got this guy who just screams, "I'm a nerd," and he's got this voluptuous model there in the background. He's reclining on the bed as though they are about to take care of some business here very soon. Now, I don't know if this is a paid relationship. I would imagine, given that this guy is 100% bona fide nerd, that he probably had to pay for whatever encounter they're about to have. But obviously, this was a setup for an album cover. This woman ordinarily would have no interest, wouldn't even be in the same room with a Randy Van Warmer. And if you want to see what the back cover looks like, it's actually the same shot that they used for his debut single off of here. But this is what it looks like. And it looks like, "My friends all said I was too nerdy to bang a hot chick, but look what I just did." There's some disconnect here. There is no way that Randy Van Warmer scored somebody this hot. But yeah, it is a very warm room, I would imagine, during this photo shoot. So Randy Van Warmer actually had a number of pretty terrible album covers. There's an album cover where he's in a NASA spacesuit. There's another one where he's looking even more dorky and more nerdy than he does on this album cover. But so sorry, he is no longer with us. But I cannot help it. When I see an easy target like this, I'm going to take a swing and I'm going to take a dump right on it. So I hope you've enjoyed this installment on it. Let me know if there's any album covers maybe I need to cover in one of these future episodes. Hope you're doing well and take care.